せてやる。その先の力というものはBleach, Brave Souls.
Alright guys, we're back again for yet another Bleach Brave Souls video, and today we're going to be updating the top 10 characters for pretty much every single attribute, pretty much combining speed, heart, mind, technique, and power. I'm not doing a top 10 overall best character list until the anniversary, because by that time, pretty much all the attributes would have pretty much changed in terms of placements, plus the more OP characters is pretty much going to decide the new top 10 overall best character list that we have in the game currently. But that won't be for like another 2 months from now, and yeah, we're definitely gonna get some power creep going in this game moving forward by the time we hit the 9th anniversary. But anywho, let's just go ahead and update the list because we have some new entries. I already talked about Songdo in a video where I was basically talking about how Speed doesn't need any more characters, it's perfect, and already ranked the character. That being said, I do have some second thoughts after, you know, getting around to play with him and whatnot. And let me just say that Songdo is better than Yachiru Unohana and Macy for when it comes to Limit Breaker quests. I do think that he is that guy with the fact that he has pretty much the same gauge skills as Ichibei, having the gauge rampage and of course start gauge and then more damage. That being said, in base he's really good. He has frenzy +2, he gains multi-barrier +2 once you activate the shields with the SA2, you have the 80% SP boost, increased status element chance, you still keep the cooldown reduction with Marauder, and once you inflict the freeze, which you can only do so by the SA1, SA3, NAD, and Special, you do 40% more damage to frozen enemies, as well as having 50% Berserker. And when you activate the gauge, you do get an additional Frenzy, so in this kind of sense, he gets Frenzy +3 and has 4 flash steps and not 2, thanks to the Sprinter +2 skill right here. That being said, just having Hollow Killer and not a secondary killer as well, plus the SA2 being a shield, in my opinion, for guild quests, it kind of does take a toll into effect, but there's just no doubt about it in my mind that he is by far one of the harder hitting characters that we have in the game. Falls slightly short to Unohana, does outdamage Macy, but as a character, I do think that he's pretty much comfortably in the top 3 best speed characters that we have in the game, and I have to be 100% honest, while I do think he's stronger than Macy, I'm putting him below Macy. I just think it's the right spot for him. For guild quests, he's gonna be very consistent with getting the damage output. That being said, once you use that SA2 of his, you do have a bit of a longer cooldown time. You need to have the gauge active to get your cooldowns back, and you're not inflicting status elements with the SA2. And the funny thing is, his kit is basically the same as Yachiru Unohana, only difference is that he has a full screen 1200 radius SA3, whereas opposed to her, she has the trap mechanic. And anywho, this character is still the best character that we have for speed, rampage, frenzy +2, 80% SP boost, like you cannot go wrong with that. Macy, still ridiculously good with the 9/16 homing vortex, extra damage to weakened and paralyzed enemies with the SP boost. Uryu, being the gauge character that he is, still can plow through content. Senjumaru, best farmer, and she does pretty well in Limit Breaker quest. Ulquiorra, I would love to put this character above Senjumaru, but even when he had the same rules as Senjumaru in this month of Limit Breaker quests, at Max Transcendence, he was pretty much not performing as good as my Senjumaru, and I had her like 2.5+. Tensa's still good. Milrose, I could put her a bit lower, being a +10 potion character that she is, but I find her to be good. Nelio, best NAD character for speed, and then this Halloween Toshiro is still really good for the ranged Quincy guild quest. Even in Nightmare, he's actually quite good despite the kit that he was given. Oh, and I forgot to mention, but Songdo has a 120% SP boost as well, so yeah. Even then, you can use him as a link and just make your speed character stronger, which I pretty much like and adore. But yeah, moving on to the heart attributes, we do have another new entry for the actual list, and that is the Noitora from the Future Society banner, and I'm definitely gonna say that he's a good character, but is very held back by that kit of his since he just has double suction vortexes and then a full screen SA3. So like for guild quest, he can still clear very hard guild quest, and you can like pretty much get average around 30 seconds remaining clear time if you have him like 2.5 plus and you run like, I don't know, Yamamoto and Grimmjow. Probably a bit more with Grimmjow being in the mix, and you can definitely get 40 seconds remaining, but like, it's just better at that point to run Ichibei, and if you have Yamamoto max transcended, even better, like, no joke. But his purpose is pretty much being a farmer and a super link slot potion link at that too, so like, in the event which enemies are immune to laceration, you can just pop him onto Conquer, Ichigo, True Shikai, Ichigo, Kilgay, and make your best hard characters into one of the best super pot farmers in the game, which is still ridiculously crazy. And even as a character, he's not bad. Frenzy +2, 40% Berserker, 80% SP boost, increased status summon chance against mind attribute enemies with the Link Slot Potion skill and the Super Pot skill. He's a +10 Super Pot character at that too, so in base, he's going to be really good, and if you want to, you can also turn Rengiku into a Super Link Slot Potion +10 character just by linking the Noitora. But yeah, again, the kit just doesn't really help it too much because he has a Suction Vortex on the SA1, Suction Vortex into Lunge on the SA2, should have been one or the other, and then the SA2 being something better, and then a full screen SA3. But anywho, as a character, I'm definitely going to place him right next to Rengiku because I think that they're pretty much tied for what they're meant to do in terms of being super potion farmers. Probably below Noelle for Gale Quest because she's just power Yama but with a way worse SA1. But I'm just pretty much pairing him up to Rengiku to pretty much tie them in as super Link Slot Potion characters because in my opinion they're kind of tied, but Rengiku already having Pierce Iron Skin and the 100% damage, you can get away with it just fine. Like, she's future-proofed for every single inheritance trials, regardless if enemies are immune to a set type of status element and whatnot. But you guys get the point. And then you have the rest of the heart list. Ichigo and Kilgay still tied for #1. Ichigo's just a dominant force to be reckoned with once he has Killer active, but Kilgay, even without Killer, with the Rampage and everything that he has going for, he's just way too cracked as a character and is better for Limit Breaker Quest, but they're pretty much tied between the two, and they both help to complement each other just fine. Maybe I should rank down Haruka a bit lower than Bruno. It's just that Bruno in base, he's pretty much good, but once you get the Gauge active, he just becomes a lot better, picks up the 50% SP boost and the 100% Berserker. But Haruka, it's just that she doesn't have weakening, but her multipliers are still going to be a lot better since she has Frenzy +2, 80% SP boost, crap ton of full stamina damage boost, and she does have the defeated enemy bonus like Yuha Baha in this kind of case. She picks up like 20% Berserker, 20% full stam, and an extra Team Party sad buff, so there's that as to why I ranked her higher than Bruno, and everything else on the list is pretty much fine. Kaname is completely falling off now. I did say that by the time I updated the list, Kaname would pretty much be gone, and he is gone. Bye-bye. It's unfortunate, but he was always cucked in IT because of only having Drain, and the SA1 not helping him out at all. The Mind attribute, I think, has gotten a lot better since then, and it's still getting characters, and with the addition of Yumi Chika, it's never been that good. I'm gonna be 100% honest. It just keeps on striving to improve the attribute, and this is something I need to see for the power attribute going forward. But anywho, this character is mainly meant to be used in guild quests, but even outside of guild quests, I do deem him worthy of being a top 3 Mind character, despite not having double killers, despite not having the best of both worlds in terms of the kit. It's just that I feel like he's better than most of the characters on the list with what he can do. Like, I already showcased him in Guild Quest. He basically can get up to 44 seconds remaining at 1.5, paired up with White Day Shuhei in the Tatsuki, and it's just ridiculous with what he can actually do. Limit Breaker Quest, I don't see him being too good because of the barrage mechanic that he has on that SA2 of his, but he still has like a 3k length beam with an 1170 in front, has poise, can drain on all of his attacks, and even then, like, keep in mind, he still has Frenzy +2 with 120% SP boost outside of Guild Quest. Of course, in Guild Quests, he gets the Frenzy +3, extra killer effect, extra melee damage, and yeah, can get away with it just fine. He's just that damn good of a character, and I think he's worthy of being a top 3 best character. So much so that I might be thinking about putting him above White, if I'm being 100% honest, because he just feels a lot better to play as, and it's a bit more cracked. It's just that I want to say maybe Limit Break Request is the reason why I want to keep White a bit higher than Yumichika in this kind of case, because the Barrage, it's only really good for guild quests. Outside of that, it's just kind of a mediocre strong attack, if you guys ask me. Nothing too crazy to take note of what he can actually do, but overall, just another really strong mind character. And yo, it'll be crazy once we get another mind character that can compete among these 3 characters. Jesus, it's already become so much better. But yeah, Technique did receive a lot more characters this time around. 3 characters that we need to add to the top 10s, and that is pretty much going to be the Halibal, Future Society, or Hime, and then the 1000 Year Blower Rengiku. So let's just start off with Halibal, since she did come in first. She is the farmer that we have been waiting for. She just can't farm droplets, but she is what we desperately needed for the likes of Inheritance Trials. She just completely replaces both Spirits Are Forever with Yugin and the 1000 Year Blower Anime Uryu out the water. Out the water. And she is just that much of a ridiculous character, with the fact that she has Frenzy +1, 60% Berserker, and 100% more damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment with Pierce Iron Skin. And she doesn't even need a Zeta Pill, because she already has hidden enemy chance of 100% with everything else that she needs to do. And the crazy thing is, like Noitora, she's a Super Link Slot Potion character of +10, and at that too, you can literally make your best Technique character like Ichibei or Quincy Ichigo into a Super Link Slot Potion farmer. And if you guys still like to use Gin and Uryu, you guys can turn them into a +10 Super Pot farmer. But at that point, why not use her? Why not actually use her? Because I feel like she is by far the best farmer that we have for the Technique attribute, which was well needed. As for the overall placement, I'm definitely going to put her underneath the 1000 Year Blower Aizen, but at the same time, I got to make some adjustments, because I overrated Bambietta long enough to the point that she is going down the list, and I'm putting her behind Halibal. Yeah, I have to do it. I think that she's an easy top 5 character, baby. She just does what she can do. She just does what she does perfectly fine. And the kit is also really good too, because she does come armed with Lunar New Year's Rukia SA1, being a 30% mag range collision attack, and it can kill in Inheritance Trials should you get the character to level 10 SP, T20, full stamina SP, or just full stamina long stride, because I just rock her that way. And then she has the 3k length beam with 1020 width and a full screen 1200 radius. Like, she's that good of a character. She was not given a bad kit, which is fantastic. Like, already knocks it out the park against Uryu and Grimmjow. And now, on to the next character, this Rengiku. Rengiku, very amazing set of skills. Terrible kit, unfortunately, because she has the 18% shave, suction vortex into pushback attack, and then a full screen SA3. So essentially, she got Christmas Noel's kit, but doesn't have the increased status element chance in order to consistently proc status elements, because the skill set is really good. Again, she has Frenzy +2, an extra 40% more strong attack damage when at full stam, 40% more damage to status element affected enemies per Technique Soul Reapers. So she's pretty much buffing the likes of 1000 Year Blower Aizen in this kind of case. Guard Break plus hits hidden enemies, Long Stride, Havoc of 20%, 80% SP boost, and she also has weakened defense. So there's that to take into consideration, with 20% stamina recovery. And she even has the defeated enemy bonus as well. I believe she has, like, hold on, I'm gonna check real quick. Yeah, she can get up to 60% full stamina damage boost. So the character's skills are really cracked. Performance-wise, sadly just doesn't happen to be the case. It's just very unfortunate, because at the end of the day, 1000 Year Blower Aizen just completely outperformed this 1000 Year Blower Rengiku, and it's not even funny, and he was still the character that carried in the Nightmare Ranged Aronker Guild Quest. Like, okay. Rengiku's purpose, she was just there to buff Aizen all along. And with that, Uryu and Grimmjow are now officially off the list, completely thrown off. They've served their purpose. Let's just say that they had it coming eventually. It's a gacha game, man. What can you expect? Like, characters come in, they take over the place, and older characters start falling off. It's just always been that way, and it's just how it has been. And matter of fact, in just a couple of months, I do think the 6th anniversary Aizen is actually going to fall off. And it won't be until he gets his resurrection where he's going to dominate once more. Same thing with this Noel, funny enough. And then the last of the tech characters has to pretty much be this Future Society Orihime. Now, she offers a really nice breath of fresh air in terms of NAD characters. And her value is, I want to say, almost identical to Manor Orihime. The only difference is that she does not give out barriers, and she does not have the shared complete status immunity, but is the very first NAD character to come with the homing vortex. So, or when it comes to boosting, she can keep enemies trapped, and she does have a really nice damage multiplier of having Flurry +1 with 60% Berserker, Technique Attribute Character normal attack damage of 20%, and in Guild Quest, she does get Flurry +2 with 50% killer effect and 30% range damage. So, there's a lot to take into consideration, but considering she was also given a PvE killer of Soul Reaper killer, you can still get the 30% killer effect, and I'd actually argue to say that she'll actually be quite fine once she has killer enabled. And as a matter of fact, I'm definitely gonna put her, I wanna say, underneath Halibel or above her. It's very interchangeable between the two because I do consider Orihime that much of a good character, and it's a good thing that they did fix up the SA2 because otherwise, I think she'd be so much lower on the list because you would not be able to take advantage of that SA2 of hers in Extreme Co-op, in Guild Quest especially, and it just would have been a bit more of a mess that it might have not have been a thing. And I'm glad that they did patch it out. I just need to see this damn boosting SA2, heal SA2 being fixed for like a lot of characters. I'm looking at you, Parasol Rukia. But yeah, she has the 40% shave attack, the homing vortex as well, and then the full screen SA3. So really, really good NAD character. She's just not on the same level as 1000-Year Blow or Aizen, believe it or not. So it is what it is. And also Chojuro is actually falling off, huh? Well, sadly he did not last too long, but it is what it is. But can I just say, Tech is actually looking a lot better, especially the top 6 spots. I never thought that I'd actually see it being this good with just a couple of releases, a mid-month character and an end-of-the-month character. Rengoku is just but like, I like it. And then you have Power, which is still in a bad spot. But thankfully, Power did finally get something really good that did at least shape things up a notch. And that is this Future Society Ulquiorra. Future Society Ulquiorra is true Shikai Ichigo if he were not given Laceration, but he still is a really good character nonetheless, with the fact that he has Frenzy +2, 40% more damage to weakened enemies, increased status element chance against Quincy's, 80% SP boost, long stride, sharpshooter with weakened defense and weakened immunity, and also has the defeated enemy bonus, just like Rengoku, where it's only 2, but once you get it active, you get 20% more Berserker, and you get a team party 20% strong attack damage buff to himself and all of his other allies, and of course has the same soul trait as True Shikai Ichigo and Unohana, strong attack damage of 20% with cooldown reduction, Quincy killer at that too. And the kit is pretty much the same as True Shikai Ichigo, only difference is he has the standard 3k length beam, the full screen lunge like White and 7th anniversary Uryu, and then he has the 2-stage charged SA3. Now, I do find it very annoying when you can't stop enemy mobs from attacking you when it comes to using the SA3, but once you get it to proc it off and you are at a good distance to be able to fully charge it, oh yeah, it's a force to behold. It's not a joke. I think Ulquiorra takes the cake of being the best power unit, better than Parasol Rukia, better than Yama, better than Ichigo, because he just does everything that is meant to be done. In Limit Breaker Quest, once he has the rules, he's gonna work perfectly fine. He's not like Parasol Rukia, where, let's say I wanted to use her in Future Society Ulquiorra's Slot 1 run in Limit Breaker Quest, she would just do no damage with that SA2 of hers upon starting the quest. Like, bro, that is just so garbage. And I have her now, and I like the character for inheritance trials, but god, I hate how she's so dependent on rules in Limit Breaker Quest, and I hate how she cannot do anything with that second strong attack of hers in Gale Quest. Like, come on. Are you guys using her in Gale Quest? Be real with me. Are you guys really using her? I'd rather use my 7th anniversary Ichigo, who's max transcended, over this character right here. And just use 1000 Year Blow Rising. Because guess what? This character's getting carried by 1000 Year Blow Rising. He's carrying 7th anniversary Ichigo. Okay, yeah, enough about the rant. But yeah, that being said, even with Ulquiorra finally coming into the game as the best power character, power's still shit. Like, you guys can clearly see it. And with us, we now have the new Visored Ichigo. Visored Ichigo is another character that, in my opinion, gets downplayed a lot just because of the fact that he is simply a droplet character and can only farm droplets and no pots, no super pots. He cannot pierce through Iron Skin. And it's a disappointment that he was released as a mid-month character and not as good as Halibo or even coming close to Ulquiorra. But that being said, even without being able to pierce through Iron Skin, if you guys want to use him in IT, carry the Super Link Salt Potion farmers, and play as him because it's a favorite character for like so many of the BBS players out there, you guys can, because the damage output that he does have is still pretty good. It's a mini Tensa. He does have the 3k length beam, 960 AoE in front, and a full screen SA3, and still has Frenzy +1, Berserker 60, 100% pure damage, and full stamina damage boost of 20%. And for droplet farming, he does the job. I think he's still pretty good to use in epic raids. And even then, let's say you guys have Eburn, you can pretty much make the perfect combo of linking Eburn to the character, and he'll just be able to farm droplets and potions just fine in epic raids and get the job done. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and ramble on about the character. I already did it in my video. If you guys wanna check it out, you guys can check it out. It's on my channel, and it's on the Visored Ichigo's trash topic. But anywho, in terms of placement for this character right here, I'm gonna be honest, he's tied with Nelio. Nelio, she is great for farming super potions and is gonna be better than this Ichigo right here overall. Just the fact that she has weakening and has an increased status summon chance of inflicting weakening against any technique mob, she's just gonna be a better character. But in epic raids, I'ma be 100% real with you. She is not farming potions or droplets, leaving Ichigo the better epic raid farmer at the end of the day. So between the two characters, I think it's very interchangeable, because for when it comes to getting characters from T10 to T20, you're gonna need both droplets and super pots regardless, compared to potions where it's the first thing that you pretty much grind in the game. And even then, let's say we do get T30 implemented into the game. This Ichigo is going to be a pretty good character to use for farming droplets, and you will pretty much need double that amount if we ever do get that in the future. And with that, we're going to go ahead and throw off Ulquiorra and Rukia because, yeah. Well, Ulquiorra is still a great GQ NAD character, so there's that to take into consideration. It's just that I don't normally rank GQ NAD characters overall unless they have special perks to them that actually make them compete with SP characters. And in this case, Orihime does bring something new to the table that can actually really help out for content outside of guild quests. So, yeah, that is pretty much about it. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with the list. Personally, for me, it wasn't that hard of a list to make in terms of the characters that we have. But yeah, I'm so confident with how it is. Yuha is still the best mind character, Ichibei is still the best technique character, Ulquiorra takes the spot for being numero uno best power character in the game. Ichigo and Kilgore are still tied. Ichiru Unohana takes the spot of being the best speed character in the game, no doubt about it. And then on the discussion about Yamamoto and Ichigo, yeah, those two characters right here are also interchangeable between the two. It's just that Yamamoto in Guild Quests does better than 8th Anniversary Ichigo, but Ichigo just does IT content a lot better, and he is still the best autoer for IT. So again, pretty much tied between the two. once again. That's all. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys all in the next one. And yeah, now that mid-month is out, we'll just be in a bit of a dry period for when it comes to making content, but we'll see what we can cook up. So yeah, take care, lads. Peace out. Bye. Sayonara. Ciao, ciao.